what happened was, like I said, LS Slate Quarry, which is now the Belfast shipyard, basically. It used to be a high mountain shipyard, pretty much, or I mean a high mountain slate quarry. Sorry, it used to be slate, and it used to be like 300 or 400 feet in the air, and the water was way down there, down along the thing. It was all a big slate quarry, and I was LS Slate. And what happened was this other guy started doing LC Slate, LC Slate or whatever like that. And what they would do is, in the old days, you would pay your money and then your slate would arrive. We were always good and punctual. You know, I used Irishmen and stuff like that. Anyway, so so these guys started running around saying they were selling LC Slate, basically. And basically, they were just taking orders and taking people's money, and then they would run off, and then the people would be like, "Hey, where's my slate?" You know, and then they would go look, and they would find out that these other people were gone. So anyway, so I sent people after them to go get the money back for the people, and I was like, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll loan you the slate, and then we'll recover the money, and then you know, or something like that. We'll work it out somehow because you know I was a pretty rich guy anyway." So, and I was like, "Well, next time, you know, just come to us, you know, LS Slate, or, you know, Lusifer Star Slate. So, in the Belfast, you know, it was a high mountain thing anyway, and then they would just take it down the train track, you know, to the houses and stuff, because people lived down there. Anyway, and around, so, because we'd truck out, and we'd train out and train down, you know, Slate. So, anyway, so basically, kind of weird. Where'd you go, little guy? So basically, people were selling LS Slate, which wasn't really. They had no affiliation to me, and I would say that. Yeah, they have no official affiliation to me. But I'm a cool guy, so I'll sell. So I'll buy your slate. I mean, I'll buy the slate. And usually the people were out the money, so they're like, "Well, we can't really pay you right now." And I'm like, "Well, don't worry about it. You know, I'll send you. I'll send you some at least. You know." So they would. So I'd send them, or I'd loan them the slate. Basically, I'd be like, "Well, when you can pay me back, then you can pay me back. But otherwise, you know." So basically, I was really cool about it. You know, I was like, "Don't worry about it." You know, I mean, I understand. You know, these people stole your slate, and besides, it was like 10 shillings per slate or something like that. So they were out their life savings, and I was like, "It's just slate. Yeah, you know, send it down. Screw it." I mean, forget it. You know, just go ahead and send it down. So I was selling slate, and then the people would be like, "Thank you so much for the slate. You know, I'll tell you what. We got together, and we're gonna buy some more slate from you, and we'll pay double the price because you were so cool about it before." So, like I say, that one guy would spend all his money, you know, and give it to LS Slate, and then those guys would run off. And then they would come and contact me, or word would get back to. I mean, it was LC Slate, and I was LS Slate, and then word would get back to me, and I'd be like, "Okay, well, tell you what, I'll send you the slate anyway for one house, and then you know when you get more money, you can give me more money or whatever. You know, we'll work it out some other way." So basically, I was so cool about it that a lot of people started coming to me, and they were like, "Well, I'll tell you what, you know, we'll pay double the price for the next slate." So they would buy more slate at double the price, you know, and then because I fronted them the money or the slate. I mean, it's just stone, it's just slate. It was just like my workers were just out a little bit of money or a little bit of labor, but it's like, you know, like I say, we had farms, we had everything. We would buy food and stuff like that, but not really all that much. Mostly we just grew our own food and everything. So you know, I mean, we were just making money like crazy. So anyway, so I was so cool about it. You know, people would be out their life savings, and I'd send them the slate anyway, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's all right, don't worry about it. You know, it's a loan. I understand you guys are in need of some slate." You know, we also do water wheels. We also did water wheels and a lot of other stuff. I did hydrodynamic sawmills and all that other stuff. So basically, you know, we were making a lot of money, and you know, very popular. LS Slate, Lucifer Star Slate. So anyway, and then LC came in, you know, or people going around saying that they work for LC Slate, you know, and they were like, "Yeah, C Slate," you know, and basically they were grabbing people's money and stealing their whole life savings. Like, people would be out their whole life savings, you know, they would take it all and be like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you a new house, blah blah, all this and that. Yeah, it's gonna be real nice," you know, and then they run off. the black people, and with the metal, you know. And then the people would eventually come to me, and it's like they took everything, and it's like, well, that just ain't right, you know. Yeah, that's just not right. So we'd send them the slate on a loan and be like, and like I said, I'd be like, if you can give food or whatever, you know, that's cool, whatever, you know. I'm Lusifer Star Slate, you know, and we'll do that. So that's how that worked out, you know. That's why there's LS Slate and LC Slate. LC Slate was a scam, and LS Slate was me, and that's my Belfast shipyard, which is now a shipyard. The water level rose like some 300 feet or 400 feet. Anyway, and there was a big war with the black people back then. You know, they were trying to climb up, the black and the French. Well, they said it was the French, but it was really just the black, trying to climb up the valley, and we were, you know, shooting down on the valley at them. You know, in those days, you know, we used to use the stuff for other stuff. Anyway, a lot of mining and stuff. So anyway, so if you look back in the history books, you'll see LS Slate and you'll see LC Slate. Anyway, though, sometimes, well, that's why I would also sell as LC Slate, because of the fact that people would come to me and be like, well, we spent all this money and we didn't get the delivery. It's like, well, you sold it to a scam artist. You know, there is no LC Slate. There's only LS Slate, a Lucifer Star Slate. So, but I'd be like, all right, you know, I'll tell you what, it's a loan. So, and then you can pay you back when you get the money. So we'd send them the slate anyway, and the slate would all arrive and everything. My people would be there. And usually when my people got there with the slate, they'd be like, well, we pulled up a collection and we got you a little bit of money. Or we got you some goods or some wine or some alcohol or something. You know, so they would always come back with stuff. You know, we were always getting like truckloads of all kinds of stuff, or some wood, or, you know, or a couple new people. Like, well, my children want to go with you. You know, so children would come back to the mine to work. You know, and they'd be like, I'll tell you what, our children will work it off. And I'd be like, okay. And then the children would get working on the slate mine and everything else like that. And then they would be like, well, we want to stay here, you know, and all that. So, you know, my slate, my Belfast shipyard slate yard became like this great big huge community of people, because people would want to stay for the slate and stuff like that. It's like, well, okay, you know. So that was LS Slate, or Lucifer Star Slate, and my Belfast shipyard, which eventually the water rose and all that, and I had a big old town community up there. So it's pretty nice, you know, a lot of nice buildings and stuff like that. A lot of mines too. So anyway, and that's Belfast.